You ever see someone walk into a courtroom not looking for justice, but looking for war? Yeah, that happened. And by the time the doors of courtroom 2C slammed shut, an entire city held its breath. Not because the man on trial was dangerous, though he was, but because the woman behind the bench, she was everything he'd spent his life trying to ignore. His name was Officer Brent Mallory, 15 years on the force, commendations, media-friendly photo ops, and just enough charm to mask the rot underneath. 12 complaints, 5 internal investigations, 0 consequences. Not one damn reprimand. You know the type. The guy with a handshake for the mayor and a chokehold for everyone else. But none of that scared him. What did? Sitting across from a black judge, Judge Renata Ellis. And not just black, confident, unshaken, brilliant. That bench was her home, that robe, her armor. And from the moment she said court is now in session, Brent stopped being a cop and started being a ticking bomb. The people of Kingston, Georgia had seen her before. Tough cases, calm verdicts. But this was different. This was personal. The courtroom was packed, not with rubberneckers, but with folks who remembered the names Mallory's badge erased. A grocer's son, paralyzed. A grandmother, bruised and silenced. But this time, they were all watching. Brent strutted in wearing a perfectly pressed navy suit, his silver watch gleaming like a badge he couldn't legally wear anymore. He didn't nod at the judge, didn't blink, just smirked. That smirk? It said, "You don't belong here." And you could feel it. That tension, like dry air before lightning. Opening statements were typical. Prosecution laid out the accusations: excessive force, tampered body cam footage, intimidation of witnesses. But the details were horrifying. A teenager with a shattered collarbone. Audio files with eerie gaps. Reports marked resolved with no action. The system had buried the truth so deep, people forgot it ever existed. And then came the twist. They called Elias Mercado to the stand, just a quiet data analyst. Tall, soft voice, hands that trembled, until he started talking. That man wasn't nervous. He was angry, controlled, precise. And when he opened that worn leather folder, you could feel the air change. Elias explained how Brent's complaints were moved across precincts like trash no one wanted to smell. Every file came with a shiny recommendation letter. Every bad report was lost or marked incomplete. But Elias? He found the originals, not just one, all of them. That's when Brent leaned forward, jaw clenched, one knee bouncing like he was waiting for a bell to ring. His attorney objected, tried to get the evidence thrown out on technicalities. Chain of custody this, inadmissible that. But Judge Ellis? She didn't flinch. She said, "Objection overruled. Continue." And just like that, the truth got louder. You could see it in the gallery, people clutching each other's hands. Tears they didn't expect to cry. Because they knew. This wasn't just about one cop. It was about a system built to absorb complaints like a sponge soaks up blood. Then, just past 3 in the afternoon, Brent snapped. It was fast. So fast. One motion, trained, practiced. He reached into his suit jacket and pulled out a compact black pistol. You could hear the click of metal against fabric like thunder in a room that had gone still as stone. Nobody screamed. Nobody moved. Except Judge Ellis. She didn't duck, didn't panic. Her voice, calm as a still lake, said, "Is this how you think power works? By pointing a weapon at justice?" Brent didn't answer. He didn't need to. His hands shook just enough to betray what he really felt. Fear. The kind of fear people like him never admitted. Because for the first time, he wasn't in control. The bailiffs reached for their holsters, but the judge raised her hand. That's when the doors burst open. Boom! Black-clad tactical officers stormed in, led by Commander Tiana Rhodes. Shields up, rifles locked, voices like firecrackers. "Drop the weapon! Hands in the air!" Brent spun, hesitated, gun wavering. And then, the crack. One shot. Missed Judge Ellis by an inch. The bullet tore into the bench behind her. Oak splintered like matchsticks, but she still didn't move. She just stood there, staring him down like a lighthouse in a hurricane. He was tackled, disarmed, hauled away, still not saying a word. But the damage? Already done. And the truth? Just starting. That night, a local journalist named Darnell Osei published an article that blew the lid off everything. Internal memos, whistleblower testimonies, names of supervisors who protected Brent. department heads who signed off on lies, assistant DAs who buried evidence to keep things quiet. By morning, the mayor had issued a statement so vague it felt like a parody. But the people? They weren't vague. By 10 a.m., over 1,000 marched through downtown Kingston in silence, not screaming, just present. Because sometimes, presence is the loudest scream of all. Darnell didn't stop. His second exposé named names: Lieutenant Harold Vicks, ADA Martha Klein, Precinct Commander Greg Fenley. And attached? Screenshots of emails, redacted documents, even one handwritten note from a rookie officer flagging Brent's behavior, 2 years before the trial. That rookie? Transferred. Never promoted. And her note? Stamped reviewed, then quietly filed away into nowhere. Judge Ellis, Darnell, and Commander Rhodes began mapping it all. Names, dates, clearance memos. And a picture emerged, not of one bad cop, but of an entire machine built to keep people like him untouchable. Within days, the city council launched a special investigation committee with subpoena power. By week's end, Vicks was suspended. Klein resigned. 3 precinct commanders were placed on administrative leave. The silence that had choked Kingston for years was finally unraveling. When the verdict came, 35 years, no parole, the courtroom didn't cheer. It didn't erupt. It exhaled, like a city finally breathing after holding its breath for too damn long. And still, Judge Ellis didn't celebrate. No interviews, no headlines. Just one quote when pressed by a reporter. "It's a beginning, nothing more, nothing less." Weeks later, a mural appeared across from the courthouse. Not of a gavel, not of a badge, but of Judge Ellis standing tall, surrounded not by armed officers, but by citizens holding books, candles, and microphones. The bench behind her wasn't wood, it was truth. And the mural said only one thing, in deep cobalt blue: justice is not noise, it is presence. That bullet missed by an inch, but in that inch, an entire city was reborn. So now it's your turn. What do you think? Was this justice, or just a beginning? Drop your thoughts in the comments, share the video, and if you believe that truth can still crack through silence, hit that subscribe button. Because the next story, it's even louder.